God's voice doesn't whisper to the quiet part of you, it roars to the part of you that has slept too long. The truth is brutal, simple, and unavoidable. You already know what you need to change, and you already know what you've been running from. This message is not another soft reminder. This is a strike. A jolt. A call that demands you stop pretending you have infinite time. Because you don't. And deep down, you feel that urgency burning like fire under your skin. You've ignored the signs long enough. You've diluted your own power long enough. This is the moment where you stop hiding behind excuses and confront the truth. Your life won't transform until you do. You want change? Then stop treating your purpose like an optional update. You want progress? Then stop acting like motivation is supposed to be comfortable. You want breakthrough? Then stop waiting for a perfect moment that will never come. God doesn't hand gifts to the hesitant. He hands battles to the chosen. And if your life feels heavy, chaotic, pressured, stretched, maybe it's because you've been chosen, but you keep acting like you're cursed. Wake up. You're not falling apart. You're being demanded to rise. You can't keep saying tomorrow. You've said it too many times already, and tomorrow has turned into weeks, months, years. This message is the slap you've been avoiding. You are not meant to live small. You are not meant to drown in the same doubts every night. You are not meant to shrink yourself to make life easier. You were built for moments where everything you fear stands right in front of you, and you walk through it anyway. God didn't design you to be fragile. Life has tried to convince you otherwise, but the design hasn't changed. Power doesn't disappear just because you forgot you had it. Every obstacle in your life has been a mirror showing you who you could become if you stopped resisting growth. But you've been too busy negotiating with your own potential, letting laziness win, letting fear win, letting comfort win. And comfort, oh, comfort is the deadliest addiction humans have ever created. Comfort kills dreams more efficiently than failure ever could. Comfort whispers, "You're fine," while life passes you by. Comfort convinces you that you have time while your inner fire slowly suffocates under the weight of delay. This is the message that rips comfort out of your hands and throws it to the ground. God doesn't leave you where you are. He pushes. He disrupts. He shakes the walls you keep trying to hold up. And it feels like chaos, but it's actually construction. You asked for strength, you didn't expect that it would require struggle. You asked for growth, you didn't expect pruning. You asked for clarity, you didn't expect everything unstable to collapse. But that collapse wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You cannot elevate while clinging to dead weight. You cannot evolve while holding on to people who don't belong in your next chapter. You cannot walk into purpose while dragging versions of yourself that no longer serve the journey ahead. You've been waiting for clarity, but God has been waiting for movement. You keep asking for signs, but the truth is, you've received them, every disappointment, every betrayal, every closed door, every restless night, every gut feeling, every uncomfortable truth you tried to avoid. These weren't obstacles, they were signals. Signals that something inside you is demanding more. Signals that the life you're living is too small for the calling placed on you. Signals that the path you're on is not the path you were meant to die on. You've felt it. That nagging sense of misalignment. That tension between who you are and who you could be. That ache that doesn't let you settle. That inner voice that gets louder every time you try to silence it. That isn't anxiety, that's direction. That's the divine dissatisfaction that refuses to let you waste your potential. Some people ignore it until it disappears. But not you. Not anymore. That feeling is the compass pointing toward the life you're meant to build. And this message is the moment you stop turning away from it. For too long, you've lived at half power. You've dimmed your instincts. You've diluted your ambition. You've traded depth for distraction. You've replaced purpose with noise. But deep inside, the real you, the powerful, focused, disciplined version of you, is still alive. Waiting. Watching. Getting tired of being ignored. And when you ignore your purpose long enough, life starts becoming unbearable. Not because you're unlucky, not because you're broken, but because you're misusing your energy. You were never meant to be stuck. That's why stagnation feels like suffocation. This message is a confrontation with every excuse you've ever made. You say you're tired, but you're tired because you're living against your own potential. You say you're overwhelmed, but you're overwhelmed because you're juggling things that aren't aligned with who you're becoming. You say you lack motivation, but you don't need motivation. You need truth. And the truth is, you've been underestimating yourself for too long. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need validation to begin. You don't need perfect circumstances to execute. You need a decision. A real one. A brutal one. A final one. The kind of decision that doesn't leave space for going back. The kind of decision that turns I wish into I will. The kind of decision that transforms the trajectory of your entire life. God puts a fire inside you, but it's your responsibility to keep it alive. You can't keep waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Nobody is ready. People simply act. And action creates readiness. Not the other way around. You have ideas you haven't executed. Talents you haven't developed. Strength you haven't tested. Potential you haven't touched. And what's tragic is that you know it. Oh, you know it. You've always known it. That's why mediocrity burns. That's why staying the same hurts. That's why you feel that pressure in your chest when you think about all the things you could be. That's not regret, it's calling. You don't need a new year. You don't need a Monday. You don't need a sign. You need to stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you don't have time when you waste hours every day. Stop saying you're confused when you know exactly what you should do. Stop saying you're not capable when you've survived everything life has thrown at you so far. You're not weak. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're uncommitted. And that can change the moment you decide it changes. God created you with precision, intention, intelligence, capacity. A mind strong enough to rebuild your life from nothing. A heart resilient enough to overcome betrayals that should have destroyed you. A spirit unshakable enough to rise every time you thought you were finished. You have already proven your strength through the storms you've survived. Now use that strength to build the life you want, not just endure the life you have. Every setback you've faced was training. Every struggle was shaping your character. Every delay was redirecting you. Every challenge was building your resilience. You didn't go through all that pain just to return to the same comfort zone that nearly suffocated your potential. You didn't survive just to settle. You didn't endure storms just to live timidly. You didn't heal just to remain small. You went through hell to evolve, not to retreat. Let the people who doubt you watch in silence. Let those who left you regret their timing. Let your past self look at you in awe. Let your fear tremble at your determination. But most importantly, let yourself finally become the version of you that you keep imagining in moments of quiet honesty. Because that version is real. That version is waiting. That version is possible. This message is not meant to inspire you for a moment. It is meant to haunt you until you act. It is meant to echo in your mind every time you try to procrastinate. It is meant to shake you every time you consider giving up. It is meant to remind you that you were built for more. God didn't put you here to survive. He put you here to build, to grow, to conquer, to expand, to rise. And the longer you deny that truth, the heavier life will feel. Stop treating your purpose like an inconvenience. Start treating it like oxygen. This is your turning point. Your line in the sand. Your moment of absolute clarity. You rise not because the world suddenly becomes easy, but because you finally understand that ease was never the point. Growth was. Pressure was. Resistance was. Diamonds aren't created by comfort. They're created by force. And that is exactly what your life has been doing to you, applying pressure to reveal what you are truly made of. Every moment you questioned yourself, every night you lay awake wondering why things felt so hard, every day you carried weight no one else understood, those were not signs of failure. They were signs of forging. You have been shaped by fire, refined by struggle, strengthened by adversity. But you've been too focused on the heat to realize it was transforming you. There is a version of you that terrifies your fears. A version of you that is unstoppable, unshakable, unbothered by setbacks, unhindered by doubt. That version is not imaginary, it's buried under layers of hesitation, procrastination, and distraction. But layers can be peeled back. Layers can be ripped away. And right now, something inside you is waking up, clawing its way to the surface. You can feel it. The pressure is becoming too loud to ignore. The excuses are starting to sound pathetic even to you. The old patterns are collapsing because you can't squeeze yourself into a small life anymore. You've outgrown who you were. And growth, real growth, always begins with discomfort. You have to understand something: life will not wait for you. Opportunities won't pause while you debate your worth. Doors will not remain open while you hesitate. Time is merciless, brutally honest, relentlessly moving. You either move with it or you get left behind. And being left behind in your own life is the most painful kind of regret. You know that feeling. You've tasted it, the bitterness of knowing you could have done more, could have been more, could have acted sooner. This message is the boundary between your old life and the one you refuse to lose. You can't negotiate with self-sabotage. You can't compromise with distractions. You can't reason with fear. You eliminate them through action. Fear loses its voice when you move. Doubt loses its power when you show up anyway. Resistance evaporates the moment you take the first step. Action is the antidote to every limitation you think you have. And once you grasp that, nothing can stop you. But here's the truth you don't tell anyone: you're afraid you'll fail again. Afraid to put in effort and be disappointed. Afraid to hope too hard. Afraid that if you really try this time, and it still doesn't work, you won't survive the heartbreak. That fear has kept you stuck more than anything else. But failure isn't your enemy, stagnation is. Failure is feedback. Failure is direction. Failure is proof that you're trying. You have survived worse than failure. You've survived heartbreak. You've survived betrayal. You've survived days that should have shattered you. You've survived storms that tried to drown you. You've survived versions of yourself that were destructive and lost. Failure? You can handle failure. What you can't handle is the regret of never trying. God doesn't ask you to be perfect, He asks you to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to grow. Willing to walk into the unknown. Willing to leave behind things that were slowly killing you. Willing to trust that the version of you that terrifies you is also the version that will save your life. And if you've been feeling restless, if you've felt pulled, stretched, pressured, understand this: that feeling is divine direction. It's not meant to punish you, it's meant to reposition you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are being aligned. But alignment requires movement. You can't stand still and expect to find your purpose. Purpose meets you on the road, not in your room. Purpose meets you when you show up, not when you overthink. Purpose meets you when you take responsibility for your own life, not when you blame circumstances. There is a point where the old life becomes too small to contain your calling. You've reached that point. The walls are cracking. The old identity is crumbling. The safest thing you can do now is leap. You keep wondering when things will get easier. They won't. But you will get stronger. And eventually, what breaks you today will barely shake you tomorrow. Strength is built in the dark. Discipline is built when no one is watching. Resilience is built when life hits you harder than expected. And courage, real courage, is built when you face what terrifies you with nothing but stubborn belief in your own potential. You've been asking for transformation, but transformation requires sacrifice. You can't keep everything the same and expect your life to change. Something has to go. Maybe it's your laziness. Maybe it's the people who drain you. Maybe it's your attachment to comfort. Maybe it's the habit of settling for less. Maybe it's the belief that you don't deserve more. Something must die for the stronger version of you to be born. That's the brutality of growth. But it's also the beauty of it. The truth is, you already know what you need to do. You just haven't been honest with yourself about why you're not doing it. But now the excuses are running out. The clock is ticking. The path is clearing. And this message is forcing you to confront the uncomfortable clarity you've been avoiding. You are capable of far more than the life you're living. You think your potential is sleeping. It's not. It's starving. Starving for action. Starving for discipline. Starving for commitment. Starving for the moment you finally say, enough. I'm done playing small. That moment is now. Not later. Not tomorrow. Now, there is a fire inside you that refuses to die, no matter how much you've tried to smother it with doubt and fear. That fire is your proof. Proof that you're meant for more. Proof that you're built for challenges. Proof that your spirit is undefeated. People underestimate you because you've been underestimating yourself. But that ends today. You're not here to survive another year repeating the same cycle. You're here to break it. And breaking a cycle requires force, not softness. Intention, not wishes. Discipline, not daydreams. You want to rewrite your life? Then become the kind of person who does not back down from their own potential. You won't always feel ready. You won't always feel strong. You won't always feel motivated. But you don't need feelings, you need commitment. Commitment carries you when motivation fades. Commitment pulls you through when courage wavers. Commitment sustains you when the path feels impossible. And you have that commitment buried inside you, waiting to be activated. Waiting for you to stop apologizing for wanting more. This message isn't meant to comfort you. It's meant to ignite you. To wake you up. To remind you of who you were always meant to become. And the truth is, deep down, you're tired of your own excuses. Tired of shrinking. Tired of dimming your light. Tired of letting fear make decisions for you. Tired of playing roles you've outgrown. Tired of pretending you don't feel the pull of greatness inside you. You know exactly what you're capable of. Now it's time to prove it to yourself.